teach you how to trade trend lines, how to find an entry, and also how to exit with this strategy. So most importantly, I just want you to understand how the trendline strategy works and how you can also implement it in your trading career. So without any further waste of time, let's get straight into the chart. So first of all, you must understand that a trend line must have at least 2 touches before we can say it is a trend line. So for example, let's say the market is moving in an uptrend, and when market is moving in an uptrend, there is a low and then high, and the market continue in a lower high and then lower low, higher low and then higher high type of formation. So now this point, market push all the way to the upside right here, gain here, return back onto the trend line, push back here, come back onto the trend line, and then also push way back to the upside once again. So here was our first touch of the trend line. Here was the first touch of the trend line. Here was the first point of the trend line. And also here was the second point of the trend line also. So upon the third touch of the trend line, that is where you are gonna look for an entry when price eventually hit the third touch of the trend line, and you can easily see that the structure of the market is moving in an uptrend, which simply means market is moving in a, this is the third touch also, market is moving in a uptrend, and then here is a low and here is the high, and here is the higher low and here is the higher high of the market. So let's get this one also straight. Here is the low, and then here is also the high, and here is the higher low, and here is also the higher high. So let's set the record straight. So if here is a low, here is a high, and now here is also a higher low, and then here will also tend to be a higher high. So therefore we must wait for price to eventually drop to another higher low, making our third touch of the trend line. So here you can see we have the first touch here, the second touch here, and upon the third touch, which is the higher low once again, that is where we are gonna look for our entry setup right there. So with vice versa, with the downward trend also, with the downward trend also, that is how it is also being done. Here will be our first point. Price came back, or market came back to test the trend line once again, pull back to the downside, market came back to test the trend line once again, and eventually end up pushing to the downside once again. So here is also the first touch of our trend line. Let me place it right there. Here is the first touch of our trend line, and then here is also the second touch of our trend line once again. And then here is also our third touch of our trend line also. So upon the third touch of the trend line, that is where we are going to wait for a candlestick confirmation before we look for our setup to the downside. So as well as we was able to identify upon the uptrend the low and the high and the higher low, right here too we must be able to identify that here is a high, that we already know that here is the high and here is also the low of the downward structure of the market. Here is the low. So upon the weak test of this point here, what here is going to be? Here is definitely going to be the lower high. Here is definitely going to be this is the high and this is the low. So here is definitely going to be the lower high, and then here will be the lower low. So let's make the record, or let's identify this point. Here is going to be the lower high, because market is moving in a downward trend. So you need to identify the area or the point when market hit it. You need to be able to identify is it high or a low, and then here is going to be the lower low. So upon the retest of the trend line once again, and which is also going to be our next lower high, that is where we are going to find our entry. Look for candlestick confirmation, and then we capitalize on the market. So let's move on to the raw chart, and then let me show you how to get an entry or an exact setup of this presentation I have already taken you through. So guys, I always start my analysis from the higher time frame to the lowest time frame, and where I mostly look for a trade setup or an entry is mostly to the from the 4 hour, and then 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and then all the way to the downside. So with this one, I could find it, or I was able to trade it on the 4 hour time frame. So you can see on my chart, I am on the 4 hour time frame chart, and you can see this is also a downward trend. We have, or I have my trend line drawn super nicely right here. And now first of all, let's identify the market structure first. You can see here was the first point here, and then price drop all the way to the downside here. We move back onto the trend line once again for a second touch. Price eventually end up moving in a lower high and then a lower low type confirmation. So this is the lower high and then the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and price eventually push all the way to the upside and then touch the trend line once again for our third touch. So here, who is the first one? That's the first touch of the trend line. Here is the second touch of the trend line. And this point is also the third touch of the trend line, the downward trend line. Now we have been able to identify the type of trend that the market is in, which is the downward trend, and we have been able to identify the first touch and the second touch, and then now also the third touch has also been identified super nicely. We have our trend line drawn super well now. So now we have to move to the third touch of the trend line and know how we are going to be executing our trade setup right there. So upon the third touch, let me clear off this. Upon the third touch on the 4 hour time frame, now you can see when price touch this point, there is a lot of consolidation around this point. There is a lot of consolidation around this point. So upon the third touch of a trend line, you don't just enter or execute a position just like that. Price needs to reject that point so many times. Price needs to reject that point so many times, giving you an indication that the bears are coming back into the market. And then here, candlestick confirmation is also important, and you must understand candlestick and anatomy here. So you must know or understand what the candlestick is saying and what type of language the candlestick is giving up, so that you could identify your entry and also understand how the candlestick um is trying to show you whether the market is ready to push to the downside. So now we can identify that when market rejected this trend line so many times, you can see we have our first rejection here, and then another one also, and another one also continue, and another one also continue. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 candlesticks rejecting this trend line on the 4-hour time frame, and now eventually we can see the bears just came into the market, bring an impulsive movement here, creating an engulfing candle on the 4-hour time frame. So upon all this week or this rejection on the trend line, you need to wait for the bears to come into the market before you enter your position. Now we can see after the four after this 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, after this 5 candlestick rejection, and then the price couldn't break above the trend line, the bears came into the market with this bearish engulfing candle right here. So upon the close of this bearish engulfing candle on the 4-hour time frame, that is where you are going to execute your trade right at this point, and then put your stop losses on the structure of the market. So upon the close of this 4-hour candle, we put our tool right at this point, and then we place our stop loss right here. And then now can also place it on the 4-hour candlestick close, and with that place is going to be a cool place for us. Now we need to identify, we now know our entry, so we need to identify our exit point from the market. Now we must understand that we need to target the structures of the market. So that's where when market react to the to that level. So now we have to identify our structures. So we have one here, and then also another one here. So upon when price is able to push all the way to the downside, here is going to be our first take profit, and also here is going to be our second take profit, and then we are out of the market. Do you understand? We just literally need to get 1:2 or 1:3 looks to reward, and we are cool. We are just out of the market. So now you can see price pushed all the way to the downside, hitting the TP1, and then also eventually hitting the TP2, which also give us a 1:2 weeks to reward, and this is super perfect. It is a perfect setup. So that is how the Trendline strategy works. You wait for your third touch. Here is the third touch, and then you wait for a very nice candlestick rejection on the third touch. Now we then wait for the bears to come into the market, giving you an engulfing candle on the 4-hour time frame. Then you identify your exiting point right there. So let's move on to the next one, which is USD card. So with USD card, Then we go to the 4-hour time frame, and then let's identify where market is going. So now on the daily time frame, you can identify, you can clearly see the market, how the market is moving. We have our low here, we have our low right here, and then we have our high right here, and now we have our higher low, and then this is our higher high. Now we have our higher um, our higher low, then we have our higher high, and then we have our higher low here, and then we have another higher high right at this point. Now we have been able to identify the structure of the market, which is the uptrend, and now we have our trend line drawn super nicely right here. So upon here, you can clearly see here is the first touch, here is the first touch of the market, and here is the second touch of the market. Here is the second touch of the market. And here is also the third touch of the market. So let me try changing this one. Here is also the third touch of the trend line. So as I already explained in the presentation, upon the third touch, that's where we are gonna be entering the market. And now we have to move back to the 4-hour time frame to look for our super entry on this setup. So now let's clear off this trend line, this structure, because we have already identified what we are looking for, and now we know what we are looking for. So now, how are we gonna find an entry upon this third touch right here? So now you could see price. This is how price is. When price touches the trend line, you get move up easily, boom, to the upside easily. You can see there's a lot of momentum right here. So that's where we can scale up to the lower time frame. Let's check the 1-hour time frame to see if you could get a super entry right on the 1-hour time frame. So on the 1-hour time frame, we can clearly see or identify price or market rejection right on the third touch of the trend line. On the third touch of the trend line, so we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 candlesticks rejecting on the 1-hour of the trend line. On the trend line. So now we can see now we have this big bullish present here. So upon the close of the bullish present, that is where we are gonna be taking our setup. Place it right after the close of the bullish candle, and then place our stop losses right here upon this structure. And now you can see we are risking only 50 pips. And then first of all, you need to target this structure right here. Let's target this structure right here. And now the first structure is easily giving us a 73 pips, and now we are going to be targeting the high of the 4-hour time frame. So the high of the 4-hour time frame was this point right here. But price will not easily push all the way up to the from the third touch all the way up to the first, up to the last resistance on the the top right there. Price has to pass through levels before it gets there. Now you can see here I'm gonna be taking profit was taken from this high structure on the 1 hour before price push all the way up to this point. So you can easily see how the trendline strategy also works. And now you can also take the second TP right here. So here is gonna be your first TP on the H1 time frame, because that is where you took your entry. So you are gonna take your first profit right here, and second profit right here, and then now you are logged in. You just leave the market to continue pushing all the way to the upside. So you can see we have big impulsive movement of the market to the upside. So that's it, guys. Make sure you implement this strategy in your trading journey, and it's going to help you in a long run. So if you found value in this video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel once again, and the post notification icon on so that I get notified every single time I drop another important gem like this once again. So see you in the next video. Bye guys.